Hello YouTube, Galactic Marine 501 slash Jackson Wolf X here. And before you guys comment on it, yes I am wearing a Brony t-shirt. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing something a little different, something I don't normally do. I'm going to be reviewing a piece of electronic that's not actually this is the most controversial review I've ever made. Um I'm not going to be reviewing something this is the most expensive thing I've ever reviewed, in fact. Okay, let's just get into it. The Nintendo 3DS. Now, I've had my 3DS for a few months now. Um, but I kept all the stuff. Like, I didn't keep the manuals because there were like 70 of them in different languages stuffed in here. But yeah, the box is actually very nice. It has everything sort of partitioned, just like the iPod box. And as you guys can see, the 3DS fits perfectly in there. And the charge cable. I mean, this is a box that is actually worth keeping. Like, I mean, if you need to store your 3DS, you have space in here for that, and a few game cases as well. In fact, I keep my game cases in here. Just, have it on my shelf, because it's actually a nice box. And you can put your charge cable in this little partition, like so. And then, the charge base in this one. So, now, I'll tell you guys what you get with this. You do get the charge cable, which is good. And surprisingly enough, I mean, like, none of the DSs before this have had this. You get a charge base. Now, this actually works completely different than the charge cable. If you look on the back of your DS, on either side of the input for charging, it's got um, two copper things. And if you look here, it's got three little sensors in there. So what you do is you slide this in, and upon having it dock into there, it'll still be completely playable, but it charges using those two copper sensors. Then all you do to plug this into the wall is take the charge cable, plug it into the back of the base. Now this is nice because it doesn't draw electricity when there's not a 3DS on there, because it triggers this, or at least it doesn't draw as much. I don't want to say definitively that it doesn't draw, because it may. But it's still fully operational. Now, you may be thinking, well, you probably can't switch games with it in there, can you? And yes, you can. Watch. You just flip down this little flap there. It's a little harder to get at the game slot, but you can do it. There, and then you can put a new game in. Now, as far as games go, the 4 games that I have, I've got 2 launch titles and 2 classic games. So I'll show you what games. Oh no, wait, I have 5 games. Sorry. I have 2 launch titles, an anime video game, and two classic games. As far as launch titles go, I have I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of underwhelming, but I do play it. Um, and I can't really blame my having this game on anybody, because it's really the guy who worked in GameStop's fault. Because my mom went in and said, okay, what games are good for the 3DS? Because she had no idea what games I wanted when she bought it. And he said, well, Spider-Man The Edge of Time is apparently a good game. It's not. Don't get this game. I do, I mean, I gotta say, I liked Spider-Man Friend or Foe for the DS and the Wii. I have it for both. But this game is not that terrific. Um, Now, the other launch title I have is this one, Chronicles Samurai Warrior. think of it kind of like Dynasty Warriors. The only Dynasty Warriors I've played is Gundam, so if the real Dynasty Warriors are significantly different, then maybe it's not. But it follows the same sort of key as Dynasty Warriors, from what I can tell. Then I have Star Fox 64 3D. Terrific game, terrific port. They added in gyro controls, which are fun. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. Now, this is a good game. And they do add 2 extra control item ports, as well as they change the ocarina from needing to take up an item port to having its own special button. So you just tap the touch screen to play the ocarina. I may actually do a full review on this. Right now I'm on the Shadow Temple. I'm trying to get the Lens of Truth because I didn't get that early enough, so I have to go back and get it now. As far as I can tell, gameplay is not that much different, or not different at all. I can't really tell, but yeah. So I'm to the point where I just pissed off that organ grinder in the windmill, and I'm now in the well, and I'm trying to figure out why the heck these walls are not walls. Now here's the thing, like, I had hoped that the Mask of Truth would help, like that would do something for you, but it doesn't. So, yeah. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 64 3D. Or Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. Sorry, why did I put 64 in there? Because it was for the N64, probably. I hope, actually, that they release Majora's Mask, maybe even Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword eventually for the 3DS. Because I like being able to play Zelda on the go, which is something that you couldn't do without having to play anime Zelda, or whatever you call that. Toon Link. That's what they call them in Smash Bros. At least. But I can't stress enough that I hate that style of Link. I don't know why. But the last game I got is Shin Megami Tensei. I don't know how you actually pronounce that. Devil Survivor Overclocked. Now I got this game because it looked interesting from the cover, and I've heard of Shin Megami Tensei before. I haven't actually seen any of the stuff. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's an anime. It may be a game series in Japan. I don't know, but it looked fun, and it is fun. I haven't played that much of it. I haven't even. I started a file. I didn't even get through the opening cutscenes because I kind of bought it, started a file, then went back to Zelda, because I'm kind of trying to beat Zelda, then I'll get into that game. That's the way I am. I get 2 games at the same time, then one of them sits unplayed until the other is beaten. Like, I haven't played Skyward Sword yet. Now, half of that is due to the fact that my dad screwed up our TV, but the other half of that is that I haven't beat Ocarina of Time yet. And I'm probably going to play Skyward Sword right after beating Ocarina of Time, because I'm in a Zelda fix at this point. Actually. All my prop swords stored back here. Let's see if I can reach the specific prop sword that I'm... Nope, I can't. I have a master sword back there. I wish I could reach that. That would be funny. But anyway. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you guys, in case you're wondering where I am in Zelda, I've completed the mask side quest. I've got all the masks. I completed the Big Oron sword side quest, so I've got the Big Oron sword. I'm also wondering, do you have to have the Goron knife to get the Big Oron sword? Probably not, because you do get a broken Goron sword. But yeah, the Water Temple boss was incredibly easy with the Big Oron sword. I'm just gonna cut away from that. Okay, now onto the device itself. So, this is going to be kind of difficult to show. Stuart Ashen, by the way, did a better review of the 3DS than I am going to, probably. So anyway, the first button is health and safety. I can't show you that, apparently. You've also got camera, sound. I'm just going to tell you what you have. Mii's that you can make. Mii Plaza Street Pass, apparently. AR games. Those are fun. Now, the one thing that I forgot for the DS that you get is a packet of cards that have Nintendo characters on them, and one that has a question block that has games, AR games. You place those in your environment, and then you are able to do stuff with those. And it's pretty fun, actually. You can also download apps. Like, here, I'll see if I can get it to focus. The bottom screen seems much more willing to do it. I have The Legend of Zelda: The Four Swords. Let's see, can I dim this? I don't know how. I have the 3D Pokédex and Nintendo Video. So you've got 3D music videos, comedy, animation, and action through that comes to your 3DS through something that I changed. Through Nintendo Video. Oh god. Oh, to watch, download the Nintendo Video application from the store. Okay, so they don't even give you that. But that's what you have without inserting a game card. And you could download different applications. Some are paid, others are free. Most games are paid, like you have to pay something, because, yeah. But they do have a lot of classic games, just like the Wii. So. Now, if you get a 3DS, I also recommend getting the executive package, which is right here. Now, this comes with 3 things. What is this actually called? Nintendo 3DS Executive Case Kit. This comes with 3 things. Protective case, I'll get to that later. Screen protectors, which I actually have on my 3DS. That may be why it's not registering on the screen very well. And a car charger. The only one of those that I don't have here is the car charger, and that's because it's in my car. Yeah. But anyway, here's the protective case. It's actually very nice. It's leather or pleather. It may be pleather, I'm not sure. Fits it very nicely in there. Has space for... I'll actually show you the stylus so I can take that out. The stylus, by the way, the stylus is actually much different. Here. You only get one of them, but it does have a metal tube, and you can extend it to a much longer stylus. So this one actually fits relatively nicely in the hand, as opposed to... Where's your stuff? Ah, there we go. As opposed to this one, which just sort of... Wait. Yeah, okay, here, I'll just show you a size comparison. The 3DS one is much longer, without needing to take up as much space in the 3DS, as you can see. Condensed, it's much smaller. Or significantly smaller, I guess. But what this does is it allows them to pack all of the stuff necessary to make it 3D, and all of the stuff necessary to read games, to make the screen, and memory, that's also important, into about the same parameters as a DS Lite. And from the side, It's just a tad thicker. The DSi, I've heard, was a lot bigger than the DS Lite. I didn't get a DSi. It didn't seem like it was that much of an upgrade. And my DS Lite didn't suffer from DS Lite's hinge syndrome until recently. But yeah, another thing that I recommend... Oh, wait. Sorry. Stylus and case. So the case can store in its little pockets stylus, which you only get one of, so it's not that useful. There. Like so. I only used that once, and that's when I had the stylus in my hand and forgot that I had it in my hand. Put the 3DS in here, and I was trying to leave in a hurry, so I didn't want to take the 3DS back out, so I just put the stylus in there. And it also has space for 2 games in there. However, I find if you really want to, you can fit 4. Not as protected as 2, but... Or no, you can't fit 4. You can fit 3 probably max because it is one strip of fabric. Let's see if you can fit 4. I only put 3 in here because I don't carry Spider-Man around with me because I don't like the game that much. I don't want to sound like a gift horse, but... Yeah, but there. Yeah, you can fit 4. I know I sound like a gift horse, but I'm not blaming my mother for the failure of Spider-Man. I'm blaming the guy at GameStop. He had no idea what he was talking about, and recommended to my mother, who has no idea what she is talking about in terms of video games. Which is understandable, because she's a parent. She doesn't play video games. So he recommended to her a game that's not very good, which is decently. It's an okay argument. I'm fine. I mean, I still... It's still a fun game. It's just one of those games where the control system is very different from the standard controls. Such as weapon buttons are very odd on it. Most Nintendo-made games follow a specific pattern of buttons when you have certain weapons. Like, base attack is A. Stronger attack is usually B. Or no, jump is usually A, or interact is usually A. Attack is B. Stronger attack is another button. That varies because different games have different needs. But usually it's interaction is A, attack is B. That's usually what the format is. When games use a completely different format, it's kind of annoying. Now, another thing that I recommend you buy when you get if you get a 3DS is a suit of crystal armor. When I say suit, it's just kind of... It isn't a clear case. Mine, I already showed off, is a Legend of Zelda themed one. They have Legend of Zelda, they have Mario. They actually have 2 different Legend of Zeldas. One of them is it's Link riding Epona. Less violent scene. Of course, I had to go with... And it's green. Of course, I had to go with one with people getting beaten... People getting the snot beaten out of them. But yeah, when you put this crystal armor on, you still have all your ports open. So, and they even take into account the wireless receiver. Where are we? Hang on, I'm going to pull this back out. They even take into account the wireless receiver. And they make the case specifically thinner there. See right here. They take out the rubber and they make this piece of plastic is actually thinner on both sides, so it has a little bit better signal strength, which is terrific. And I've tried, this doesn't hinder your wireless speed significantly. So, yeah. But, once you put it on, it adds a bit of durability. The only thing that sadly they can't reinforce is the hinge. However, unlike the 3DS with its random extra piece of plastic that they needed to add on for some stupid reason, this doesn't have that. So it should be much stronger, and you can feel, like, when I first got this, the hinge is much more durable, it seems. It's made of much stronger stuff, it feels. And this plastic also feels like it's stronger. This had sort of a matte coating and felt light, like they tried to make it lighter. The 3DS doesn't have that feeling to it. Oh yeah, and by the way, here's my DS Lite. I wanted to show you. That's what I say. That's what I'm talking about when I say that DS Lite has hinge problems. That white bit that's sticking out is not supposed to be sticking out. It still plays fine. You just have to hold it like this to keep the screen in place. Which normally you hold it down here with the LR buttons, and you just hit those with the undersides of your fingers instead. So it's not that big a deal. But I'm glad I have a 3DS because I still can play DS games. So it has the backwards compatibility still that older DSs had. But it doesn't have as far of backwards compatibility because it lacks the slot for the Game Boy Advance games. It lacks the Game Boy Advance slot. So I still carry around. So when I go on trips, I still have my DS Lite with me, just for the sole reason that I can still I still carry some Game Boy Advance games with me. So yeah. For fans of robots, my other channel is going to have another video, either today or tomorrow. For fans of video games, I'm hopefully going to be starting to flip more videos, which I said I was going to do before, but I didn't get around to, so sorry. But yeah. Now this video is brought to you by Stop Sopa. Yes. I'm going there now. Yeah. If you don't want the internet to be screwed over completely, email your congressman and do that. This video is also brought to you by cookies. Yes, I was actually bribed to do this. My friend Alex, you can look her up on YouTube. She doesn't have any videos, I don't think. She only got the YouTube. As I've told you the story before, she only got the YouTube to subscribe to me because at that point I only had like 20 subscribers. So, yeah. Alexia Ronan, if you want to subscribe to her, maybe she'll make something. I don't know. Yeah, she made me cookies and gave them to me to review the 3DS. So yeah, gotta play the cookies. Hey. So anyway, this has been Galactic Marine 501/Jackson Wolfexia. God dang it. As I said before, my trackpad is broken. So this may take a few tries.